75 years. That's how much time you get if you're lucky. 75 years. 75 winters, 75 springtimes, 75 summers, and 75 autumns. When you look at it like that, it's not a lot of time, is it? Don't waste them. Get your head out of the rat race and forget about the superficial things that preoccupy your existence and get back to what's important now. Right now, this very second. And I'm not saying drop everything and let the world come to a grinding halt. I'm saying that you can become a seeker. You can be loving more. You can be taking some chances. You can be living more. You can be spending more time with your family. You can be getting in touch with the part of you that lives instead of fears, the part of you that loves instead of hates.
You are now tuned in to the Hunger for More.
Tuned into none other than the Hunger for More.
Hunger for More.
With B. Will.
Yo.
He's in. Yo, what's good?
And Just.
You. This is the Hunger for More.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to Hunger for More. It's your boy B. Will. Tyler Zinsley.
Yo, what's good? It's about that time.
J. Justin Joseph.
We here.
Thanks for joining us again. As you already know, off the top, man, we used a beautiful clip from Holy Man with Eddie Murphy. And that's what really sparked today's episode, which is Timed Out, talking about how you value your time, what you do with your time, being respectful of your time, and protecting your time. So just off the rip, let's break bread and just talk about what that clip means to you.
Yeah, man, that was impactful. For real. I'm always for any kind of inspiration in terms of getting yourself in gear and then getting productive again. So I like that joint. That was dope.
Yeah, it's funny, his 40 plus year career, which he just got that love from the Golden Globe folks. But the point is, Eddie seems to make some kind of point in his movies, either pioneer wise, or he's in the space in which he is trying to make a point about something that he does himself, finding himself discovery. And I'm saying all this because that clip itself is interesting, because if you ever notice with Eddie, he's very conscious of his time, his family, what he does with whatever movie he picks, he's focused on it and he moves on. It's not Eddie doing 15 movies in 1 year. Very conscious, very aware of his time and space. I commend him for it. He even made a comment when he got his Lifetime Achievement Award to his now wife, saying, thank you for giving me the space and time and effort to be with my kids. And we all know Eddie has a lot of kids. But again, he's afforded himself that time to be with them. So it's relevant to me on many levels. As a family man myself, have friendships like with you guys, doing work and figuring out other things creatively, time is of the essence, no pun intended.
Yeah,
no doubt. I think for me, what I pull from it, obviously Eddie to me is, we talk about GOAT tier, right? He's in that GOAT tier comedy, along with Chappelle, along with, numerous others. Hearing it broke down in such a simplistic way, right? If you only got 75 summers, 75 winters, 75 springs, 75, you look at our age, we at or approaching half of that number. Don't let people fuck with your time.
For real.
There's a few things I have to say about time, and we'll talk about it later as we talk about time as a construct. But if you think about, I have 75 times to enjoy these leaves, or 75 times to see the snow, it'll make you really, really be intentful and purposeful of how you spend each and every day. So let's talk about it. Time valuation.
Oh, man. Again, family, no pun intended, but pun intended. This conversation is timely. You go through it. All of us go through it in some degree or some manner. But I've noticed finding myself more and more year to year in which I can legit say this topic itself hits me in the heart in a good way. Because you said it perfectly, Brian. You're like, yo, how do you remote, like basically your life all put together. And I'm gonna be very blunt. Boundaries. That's something I'm learning, because I never, ever gave anybody boundaries. I was always the one to give, right? So when you give, that makes people feel like, oh shoot, let me just reach out to this dude all the time. And I'm always welcoming, right? You guys know me. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I needed to set these boundaries because I needed to do the self-care part of it, right? If I need to take care of myself, that means I need to put some boundaries up to take care of myself, to go for that walk, to go break bread, this, that, and the third. So boundaries is a big thing because boundaries, and me put these up, has afforded me the time, right, to give to myself, to give to others. It's weird, but I'm giving myself more time and energy. Now I have more of myself to give because all I was giving before was just give, and not holding on to myself. So setting up those boundaries with family members, friends, the work environment, putting things in my calendar, the simplest things too, man. Like work calendar wise, I block time for lunch. I block time to rest, to re-energize myself. Do my current job, we have a thing called Focus Fridays, where it literally is Friday from probably 11:30 in the morning-ish to the end of the day. It's for you to focus on you, catch up on emails, give yourself time to re-energize and set yourself for the weekend and the week ahead. Boundaries.
I always am mindful of it, right? I always try to have a routine. From 7 to bond, I'm going to do this. I'm going to work out. I'm going to sweat. I'm going to do some type of physical activity. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to pray. I'm going to take time to be. Now, I'm not even going to front. When it came to this COVID pandemic, and I know we on the other side of it, man, we were thinking of self-preservation. Majority of society, right? First 3 or 4 months is self-preservation. I need to live. I need to go to the store. I need to go steal toilet paper from everybody. I need to do all this. Then we had that first crack at it. Yo, we're going to try to go back to work. Everyone's like, oh shit, okay, now I got to preserve my job because now I need this money. I can't afford to not be at work. And then quickly, probably a month and a half after that, people were like, yo, we used to do this shit all the time. Wait, what? Then it came self-preservation. And I think through those 3 stages, I got better and better at putting myself first. When it came to work, you already talked about the golden rule, which is just automatically blocking out an hour each day. But also, when I get off these computers, when I get off this technology, low key, I don't even want to look at my phone. I miss hella calls. I miss many text messages, but I need that time to be able to preserve my being. Ashton Kutcher talks about, I don't even touch my phone till like 10. You look at Mark Wahlberg, he shows his schedule. I'm up at 4, I'm working out till 6, but then I got X amount of time to be with my family. Then I do meetings. These are just 2 that I know of, but I've tried to really incorporate that type of schedule to allow myself the time to be my best self. Going to the gym, meditating, swimming, just being, I might light a candle, burn some sage, and just sit and inhale that shit. But I need that to reset, to just be, because as a being, I deserve that time. Because at the end of the day, whatever job you have, they don't waste no time and saying like, yo, we gotta
bye-bye.
And they don't think about
Deuces.
Retroactively.
Yeah.
Look at all the time he gave us. He didn't miss a meeting. He was off. They don't think about that.
Talk about it. Preach.
When it comes to, I've given so much time and now is the time for me to, I'm looking to have that reciprocated either monetarily or in a position. They say, maybe at another time. Right now it's tougher. So again, it's just this constant reminder to put your time first, because everybody else and everything that you're going to encounter is likely doing the same at your disadvantage.
Always.
I'm timekeeper Raymond Leon.
I'm Will Salas.
I know. Where did you get that?
A man named Henry Hamilton gave me over a century. He said he didn't need it anymore. It was a gift. I'm not a thief. But hey, if you guys are looking for stolen time, maybe you should arrest everyone here.
Oh, I see. You're talking about justice. I am a timekeeper. I don't concern myself with justice. I only concern myself with what I can measure. Seconds, minutes, hours. I keep time. And that time is in the wrong hands.
Something that somebody said to me on the topic of that was the richest man in the world, if he's on his deathbed, what does he want? He wants more time. It's something that you really, really, really can't buy. And I love that movie kind of like not really flipped that matrix on his head, but like if you could somehow come across more time, it becomes the most valuable asset, period. Like more time can, in this movie at least, it can fix any ailment, it can fix any issues that you're having. So it's just crazy that, we waste time on Instagram. I'm guilty of this. I'm not putting anybody down. I'll put my Instagram time screen up against anybody's, right? Like, it's crazy. I waste a lot of time on my PlayStation, that kind of thing. But it's like stuff like that this movie really makes you really realize how actually valuable it is. And because we think it's finite or infinite, we have, like Eddie said, 75 years for somebody like me and people younger. It's almost like hard to conceptualize how long of a time period that is. But again, the richest man in the world, if he's on his deathbed, the one thing he wants is more time, but you can't buy it. No matter how much money you have, no matter how hard you work, you just can't get any more of it. So anybody I want to go back and rewatch the movie because it's crazy. One thing I think about a lot of when you're a kid, your time is very scheduled. Your parents are waking you up. You got to be at school at this time. They're picking you up. It's very regimented. Once you get to be an adult, like out of college and stuff, you got your 9 to 5, but outside of that, you got 16 hours to do whatever you want with. And that's why, I'm wasting it on Instagram. I'm wasting it on the PlayStation and whatnot. So stuff like that movie, I would really recommend people to watch because it will start to make you think more critically about how you use your time.
Hell yeah. No,
I love it. I love it. And I'm just going to point out to you guys, for those of you who are going to see it, I'm over here, long-time career as a trailer producer, creative, editor and all that stuff for trailers and all that stuff. And even the movie itself, to be clear with you guys, when you guys go to IMDb and check it out, 6.7 out of 10.
That's crazy.
So the movie ain't BS. This movie is legit, shot beautifully, all that.
6.7 is low for me though. That's when you say 6.7, I feel like that's low. I feel like that should be a little bit higher.
Well, remember 6.7. Remember on the IMDb scale, 7 is like crazy.
Oh,
fire.
Is that right? Okay.
8.9 is like Shawshank.
Okay.
You feel me?
We're not saying this is like legit. Scorsese love. We just saying the concept
is fire.
It's amazing, and it's executed well enough to where X amount of years later, we talking about it on Hunger for More because it's still sparked.
I'm just exactly. So in the trailer, it's dope because in the trailer it speaks on, just copy wise. Again, my love for this stuff. It says the rich live forever, the poor die young. To Tyler's point. Because you get to take from one from the other and give to the other. So it speaks about, time and time of the essence, all that good stuff. And the movie was, in concept-wise, we were going through The Matrix at the time. We had a number of movies, Nick of Time, the whole thing, the list goes on. Yeah, dude, the time is valuable. It's people, we underestimate it. Every day we're looking at our watch. Every day we're doing something. You brought it up earlier, Brian, but I can tell you point blank, gentlemen, and audience, there's a space in which back in the Bay Area, I would commute, kid you not, from where we lived in Marin County all the way south to the peninsula, as they called it. It was an hour and a half each way. Calculated 3 hours a day on the road. Times 5, we're talking 15. 15 hours, I quote unquote lost. Granted, went to work, get that New York hustle in me, I had to get to work. This remote COVID new world, a paradigm shift, has afforded me time.
Greatest gift you can give.
If that makes any sense. Because now I can wake up, I can now send my son goes off to school, he gets home, I'm home. There's this whole thing behind being available.
My take on it, and I'm always thinking of analogies and what ifs. What if time was our currency, right? You already said the rich live forever, the poor die young, which isn't too different from our society right now that runs off money. But if it was off time, right? I know for sure. Like, I'm on my John Wick shit, getting my time back. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, job in the Bay, you wasted like 17 of my hours a week.
Yeah.
I need, go ahead and hit me with that. You know, or the interactions you have with people where it's like, yo, this is the 7th time. It's ended in bullshit and nothing. I need half of that back.
The older you get, and everybody know this, men and women, the older you get, time becomes the new currency. It really does. Money, I'm gonna make that, I'm gonna get that. But my time, you fuck over my time, motherfucker, we gonna have a problem because I can't get that back. God damn it.
So you got me thinking about something too now. It's like the movie almost is trying to tell us that we should be valuing our time like it's money. Because like I keep going back to that rich old man, at a certain point, time is more valuable than money. Right now for us, I'm trying to hustle, get a house, start a family, whatever. So maybe I need more money than time. But at a certain point in life, it's like a graph where people's, older people, my grandma and stuff, her time is probably worth more than her money kind of thing. So I think the movie, whatever about the movie, but it has a deeper message where it's like, yo, we need to be valuing our time as if it is more valuable than money kind of thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, cause you could get more money. You could get money, lose it, get money, lose it. Time is just a ticking clock. We all got a ticking clock. It's going down. It's never going back up. You know what I'm saying? Bank account will go fluctuate. So, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Never. And it takes time to make money. So that shows you right there that time is more valuable than money.
I remember in college, Brian, we had a presentation. We had to do all this stuff. I went to school upstate New York, and we had all these medical classes. I took a whole bunch of pre-med from physiology and all this stuff. One of my colleagues did a whole thing about sleep deprivation. It's basically at the end of the day, you'll never get any time back. You say to yourself, let me get some rest. Let me catch up on some sleep, right? That concept of catching up on sleep, catching up on stuff. And basically at the end of the day, they're like, listen, you don't sleep, you don't give yourself time to do this, that, and the third, it will never come back. No matter what you do, it's always lost.
That's a flawed way of thinking, catching up. Once it's gone, like I didn't get 8 hours Monday night, so I'm going to get 10 hours tonight on Tuesday to cover the 2 from Monday. It's like, no, it don't work like that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's gone.
Right, but I want to pull one thing I heard. How do you equate when you lose time? What is time lost? Doing shit that you didn't want to do, that you forced yourself to do, you're required to do. You thought of, oh shit, well, this will make them feel better. So lost time is whenever you don't do something you want to do. I would challenge it because I say, like, as long as I'm doing shit that I want to do, I'm valuably spending my time, Though it's going in one direction, right?
Correct. We know it's linear. It's going that direction. I think to your point, and to piggyback on it, it's not even a sense of getting it back. Right. It's being conscious of it now, right? But that's why this whole mindful thing that has exploded, for rightfully so, has made me and a lot of my friends, and I'll tell you about one friend in particular, my homegirl Lauren, she made a comment to me that I thought was profound. She was like, I was like, me and her were catching up about family, all that stuff. And me and her started talking about phones and pictures with our kids and all that stuff. And she's like, Jay, I actually don't take a lot of pictures of my kids anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, I actually make a concerted effort to put my phone down and visually take in everything that's happening with my child. Because I'm going through a different lens to see my child, whatever, blow out candles. And she's like, nah, I'm putting it down to be of that moment. Mm-hmm. Someone else is gonna take the picture. 9 times out of 10, somebody else is doing something else. I wanna be present and mindful of the current moment I'm in to enjoy it. And I was like, oh, okay, I like that. And again, Brian, maybe that's what you're speaking of, B. That, listen, I'm making a conscious effort of my time. And if you think about that, that's beautiful because you are literally minute by minute, if you will, whatever it may be, you're conscious.
If you ask your homegirl Lauren, every time you put your phone down and take in those moments with your kids, do you feel like you're losing time? That shit is probably slowing down. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? because I'm doing something that I truly value. So when let's just stack that up and let's make a chain of doing things that you want to do. It'll feel like time lasts forever, as long as you're living and doing what you want to do, or what truly you feel, viscerally, internally. I think of just like, all the shit we do, like we bet with money. What if you had to bet with time? How many bets would you be making?
Zero, bro.
Las Vegas wouldn't exist.
Zero.
Or let's go to this game. Damn, Nick, I don't got the time. I don't have the time. Like, I literally don't want to spend my...
Yeah.
Or if it is, championship week or the NBA finals, and it's going to cost 1,000 hours to get floor seats. Would it matter? You know what I'm saying? I just think of all the day-to-day things. A meal. There's no more money. Remember, this meal costs an hour to account for the chef's time. It really blows my mind.
Yeah, the concept is crazy.
Is on the horizon?
It's a basketball around a hoop. Landing there takes us dangerously close, and a black hole that big has a huge gravitational pull.
Look, I could swing around that neutron star to decelerate.
No, it's not that. It's time. The gravity on that planet will slow our clock compared to Earth's drastically.
Oh, how bad?
Well, every hour we spend on that planet will be 7 years back on Earth. Well, that's relativity, folks.
Okay. Cooper's right. We need to think about time as a resource, just like oxygen and food. Going down there's going to cost us.
Romley.
Yeah.
How far off of Miller's planet do we have to be to stay out of the time shift?
We're just back from the cusp.
All right, which is here, just outside of Miller's planet.
Right.
Okay. Here's Gargantua. Here's Miller's planet. Instead of taking the Endurance into orbit around Miller's planet, which would conserve fuel, but we would lose a lot of time, what if we take a wider orbit around Gargantua, parallel with Miller's planet, outside of this time shift to here? Then we take the Ranger down, we get Miller, we get her samples, we come back, we analyze, we debrief, we're in, we're out, we lose a little fuel, but we save a whole lot of time.
That'll work.
That's good.
There's not gonna be time for monkey business or chit chat down there.
I remember seeing an article and some people posting it, and some scientists and physicists started really talking about it. It went into detail about the illusion of time, what's real, right? And they exist. And it got me thinking, because these are physicists and, that's their bag, if you will, of what does time really mean? And you've heard about race being a construct. You've heard about wealth, money being a construct, paper money. You hear that joke all the time. It's like, who put this value on this thing, right? It's deep. And I wanted to bring it to the table and just see what you guys' thoughts are. We talk about it a little bit in regards to valuing time, but where did this come from? I know one of my uncles in the Caribbean in Antigua does not carry a watch. Doesn't carry a watch, turns off his clock in his car, all this stuff.
Damn.
He does what he does. Granted, he keeps in touch with people. Yes, that whole concept of what their time is, this, that, and the third, and he, whatever it may be. But wakes up, as we spoke before, wakes up with a goal in mind, takes care of it, does these certain things, and handles it, but does not wear a watch, does not focus on the time itself. And he lives a very, if you will, healthy life. So maybe that's a part of it too.
Yeah. For me, at the basis, right, you see the sun come up, the sun's up for a certain amount of time, it goes down, right? But the whole clocks and watches and hours and minutes and all that, obviously I think that's a construct of that we've created to keep in line and keep, society marching to the same beat, so to speak. So I do think time is linear. I do think it's going forward, right? Like we start as babies and you get older, and that's also a product of time. But time in the hardcore, like I said, hours and watches and clocks and that kind of thing, I think it's I don't think it's as authentic as we believe it to be. But I do think we are moving forward. Some people, I watch a lot of space type shit. Some people say time and space are kind of one and the same. So we're moving forward in space, which we just conceptualize as time. So I don't got the answer, but But yeah, I definitely am on that same wavelength of like the whole hours and minutes and all that. I can see it being made up at some point just to keep, whoever it is, workers or, because I mean, at some point clocks and times, sundials is like, I think the earliest form of a clock kind of thing. So at some point people realized, okay, we could put this into like some type of readable form to where we can get people to buy into it. So I live by it. When I wake up in the morning, I just kind of wake up off a body clock. I try to let my body, when I'm tired at night, I don't have a set day. Oh, I gotta be in. Some people, I gotta be in bed 10:30. I'm not like that either. So yeah, I let myself flow a little bit naturally that way. But I'm with you. I think it was constructed by somebody, Illuminati. I don't fucking know, but somewhere along the lines.
Yeah.
This nigga said
that's a whole other episode too, by the way.
Illuminati started time and clocks. You heard it here first.
Word. And then if you think about it, and I love that because if you think about it, fam, when you brought the workers thing, I immediately thought to myself that old line, right? Time is money. Mm-hmm. Money is time. It's like, are they constructed because of I need for you to do this in a certain amount of time to get that kind of money?
Exactly.
We put it as creatives. Well, what are we doing on this job? When is it due?
Yep.
How much are you gonna pay me within this space of time of using my time? Anyway, I love that. Go ahead, Brian.
Clean up, man. I feel like, that was beautiful to hear about your uncle. I got an Apple Watch. I wear it when I feel like it. But I really subscribe to the notion of I want to be present in this moment. So I've learned to not wear it as often because that just is a deterrent. Plus, I already got this phone that's in my pocket that's taking my mind off the moment as well. So I respect Unc for that. But also, T, what you were saying some things that I was like, I'm hearing some certain things that really made me think. But we think about our modern day work week or previously, because I know we in a new work society is in a new work day. The 5-day work week was instituted by Henry Ford because he wanted to get time is money, money is time, more Model T Fords off the assembly line to meet the demand. And they saw that work, and then other companies started to institute it. Fast forward, that was our modern way of working. But I think even before that, like you mentioned, the sundial, the Mayan calendar, we don't even have a world calendar. The whole world doesn't even follow the same calendar.
Yep.
So how are we all, you know what I'm saying? So that right there is just okay, what's going on? Then you got different time zones. Then when we celebrate Happy New Year, there's some countries that's nah, we still in 2019.
Yeah.
There's maybe not exactly 2019, but that are literally months and a year back.
They're in different reference, absolutely.
So if we're one people and we're not even working off the same calendar, we're not even working off the same time.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Then we got different calendars.
Well, no, you hit the nail on a couple things. Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, Chinese New Year and lunar calendar and different people around the world got different calendars and stuff. So that tells me it's we all see the same sun and we all got the same cycles of 24 hours in a day and whatnot and 365 to get around the moon and whatnot. But yeah, in terms of that's macro level time. Micro level time, I think we're just marching by the drum that somebody created long ago, and now we're just washed in the river of that time, and other people around the world got their own, so.
And Brian, I'll push back a little bit on the Henry Ford shit because at one point it was 7 days, right? And then it had child labor issues and all that stuff. And I got to give a lot of credit where credit's due to the unions. The unions were like, yo, my man, we can't be doing this 7 days a week. It's killing us.
Yeah.
And the concept, to your point, is we cut back, you're going to make us more available. We get the rest, right? Work, blah, blah, blah. Saturday, you do this. Sunday, church, repent, all that good stuff.
Right.
Back to work, right?
Right.
But it's cyclical to your point.
Yeah. And also okay, it's 5 days, whatever. That's what he decided to build a machine. When did creatives have to follow a 5-day work week?
Never.
When was that proven that was, you know what I'm saying? Or there's different lines in industries that 5-day work week that was used to get off I don't know, 500 Model Ts a day. That's literally the basis for that. It wasn't because people work better in 5 days, rest too. You know what I'm saying? I just find that crazy, and like, I think it's being challenged, obviously, with remote work and stay from home. But I saw this video with Katt Williams. They were going on a similar topic, and they were saying, you know, how old were you when we didn't have a calendar?
There's no time. We made time, but it's really eternity.
That's what you were saying when you said the 365 days. So before somebody called it that, then how old were you? Like, how were you measuring your
Before Julius Caesar said, hey, motherfucker, this is going to be 1 year because I can't take this shit. So it's no such thing as time. It's eternity, and we turned it into time.
Yeah. I thought when I was real young, I thought if you was a great, great man, you generally died around 25 or 26. Oh, wow. So I had planned my life according to that. And I got into this thing about 6 or 7 years old where I was like, yeah, every 7 years, that's almost like a new you. And so I've kept that model going my entire life. So, I've lived 7 whole existences that were separate from the one before it, taking what it takes from it, but
I'm just saying.
And then I look at Tyler's example of the moon and the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what early civilization, obviously there are artifacts that show some way of keeping track of sunrises and moon occurrence and all that stuff. But I feel like time was using a different essence to tell your age before calendars, right? You might grow a beard. Oh, you a man now. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you get a little bit, you a man. It wasn't to this cadence of, like you said, the societal calendar that we're following now. All this to be said is, man, Jay, what a topic to talk about. I don't think any of us said, I'm pretty sure none of us said, I love this calendar. It's true to form, works for me type joint. I think we all discussed better ways that we could utilize our time. And damn, T, I'm counting track how many times I said time too.
Right? It's crazy.
I love it. We can get even deeper with the whole BC, AC thing, and they don't do that, or AD. They don't even use that anymore. Historians are like, nah, we're not even touching that. We're doing BCE. We're doing, all this event stuff, CE and all that stuff, because people are like, yo, there's a whole reference. You're putting this around a Christian. That's a whole nother conversation, by the way. We're talking time,
right?
A Gregorian calendar, a Christian point of time. We're not referencing Islam. We're not referencing to Tyler's point, Asian history. You guys mentioned Aztec and Mayan. They have a completely different calendar. We're in like 2,500 something in their calendar.
Man, that's crazy.
You feel me? So I love it.
Oh.
Yeah.
The point is, it's not based off of what's best for mankind or human beings and how we function. There's always a dollar sign or some type of profit attached in some type of way.
Calm down, Marty. I didn't disintegrate anything. The molecular structure of both Einstein and the car are completely intact. Where the hell are they? The appropriate question is, when the hell are they? You see, Einstein has just become the world's first time traveler. I sent him into the future.
I got something to say because it's back or forth, and it's funny because I mentioned it before about mindfulness, right? What period would I go forward or back? And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's a space in which now that I am more and more taking care of myself, more and more quote unquote conscious of and valuing my quote unquote time around people, and especially valuing the time of myself. I look at old pictures of me in the Caribbean and Antigua with my family and stuff like that. Granted, do I remember it as a little kid? I have memories of some certain times that I loved, but I would go back with this conscious Jay and really try to enjoy I was an infant, of course, but 70s, the 80s and stuff like that. That kind of period where I just saw how my mom and dad lived, and they always spoke about it, my relatives, my uncles, my aunts, and all that stuff. and how in the Caribbean, at least, I'm speaking from that experience, right? Their lived experience, that they were this thing now, everyone's mindful. They were mindful back then. I remember as a little kid going on Sundays, as we talk about weekends, going to the beach and just having a picnic all day. Tyler, you brought it up. You wake up, family's making food, or you make food on the beach. You climb the coconut tree, get the coconut, and we're on the beach chilling the whole day, fam. That's a period that I would love to get back for many, many reasons.
Yeah.
And maybe I could be that person in the room, whatever it is, and I'm some kind of wild multiverse, and I can see it. They can't touch me, but I can hear them. I can see my pops playing his music and chilling and telling his stories and chopping it up with my uncles and laughing with grandma and grandpa. That's what I'm gonna pick to go back. Because again, you said it before, Tyler, we lost it, quote unquote, right? I might as well go back.
Yeah.
Go in the future, sure. I could, whatever, make that money, invest in some shit, whatever. But going back is dope.
Going back would be dope to, they say that at least me, every period of my life I look back on with nostalgia, for sure. Nostalgia overload at certain different parts of my life. But I am a science fiction. I love science fiction. Like, I can't get enough of it. I'm going like 2,000 years in the future. I want to see what's up with the aliens. I want to see this technology. I want to see what the metropolitan cities are looking like, or it's going to be like Mad Max, and I'm going to be very disappointed in my decision. But I do want to see, what is going to happen. Like, I guess the curiosity is fueling my decision, because I want to know what is going to happen with this world, with the universe 2,000 years from now. I know what happened 18, 30 years ago when I was a kid, whatever. But I just want to scratch that itch of the curiosity of knowing, where is this all going? What is going to happen? Did Putin destroy the world, and now I just show up 2,000 years later and I'm just in a dark void? Like, all right, this sucks. Bad decision.
Everybody's
or is it
Russian?
Right? Or it's like we're living amongst aliens, and I'm on a metropolitan city on Mars or something. I don't fucking know. That's what I'm saying. That's why my decision is going forward, because there's literally, the possibilities are endless, I feel like. Or it's just, like it is now, because back in the day they said, the year 2023, you're going to have flying cars and all that shit. So maybe I'll sound a little bit like that now too. It's like, in the year 4500, it's going to be, and it's just kind of the same as this. So the curiosity is fueling me to want to go forward like 2,000 years and see what's popping.
Man, this is really tough.
You got to split it now.
Yeah.
You got one old school, one new school.
It's difficult because, I'm a space guy too, but I think for me, I probably will split the difference by going way, way back. I'll probably go back to like the era of Mansa Musa, who it's like 1312. But for those that don't know, he was the ruler of Mali, an African kingdom, and richest man in the world, and still to this day would have been, the richest man in the world. But we get taught so much and told so much, like our history didn't start here. We were kings and queens in Africa, and like we were this and we were that. And the trip that me and Michelle took in 2018 to Kenya, that opened my eyes to we're gonna get into it in another day, another episode. But putting 10 toes down on African soil, seeing how I felt, I stood up a little straighter, like just naturally, like I felt like I belonged. Seeing everybody look like me, like to be able to live in the Mansa Musa era, to see where we all, I just want to see what we look like. I want to be able to walk that earth and see what it felt to be what I'm always told. But also I want to see what will my role be, in that time? Like what's good for a storyteller like me? How would I make my ducats,
Yeah.
Like would it be of value to be able to, there wasn't no editing, no Premiere, no red camera, no none of that. So how would I tell my stories? Would I be a writer? Would I be a philosopher? Would I, be like we talked about before, like around the campfire talking about my journeys? Maybe that was my joint, to be like a historian or a documentarian that's on a horse with Mansa Musa, writing down everything that I'm seeing. Like, I would just love to be able to see that that world, that earth, and to be able to see us as in that light. So, though I would, you know, I still might cop a ticket T and be in like the luggage of your spaceship. I would definitely. If I had to pick one,
I respect it. Ain't no hard feelings. It is, you know. That'd be dope too. You know, like Egypt at its peak. You know, where it's just pharaohs and shit walking around. That'd be dope, bro.
Seeing the pyramids just being built, bro.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
the limestone shining in the African sunset. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I go back to when Jesus was around just to be like, I knew this motherfucker was brown, bro.
Yeah.
I knew he was brown.
Yeah, you know that.
Oh, y'all, man, I can take a photo like this is him. See, I told y'all.
Wow. This guy, Tyler, said Illuminati and Black Jesus in the same episode. We either gonna blow up or this might be the end of the Hunger for More.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know how we wrap it on the Hunger for More, man.
Right?
We always got to pick our last song, and Jay, you know,
I mean,
debut it. Let us know what it is and why.
here we go. On brand, on topic. It's OC. Time's Up. The classic. I remember hearing this track on Bobito, Stretch and Bob, and then I see the music video, and the music video got OC coming in and out of darkness, speaking about in time, because that's how he's basically the concept is, your time's up. What are you gonna do with it? You caught OC in a space in which he probably said to himself, yo, I got Nas over here. I got obviously everything that's happened on the West Coast, if you will, with Dre, Chronic, all that good stuff. I gotta come correct. So again, time's up. Hope you all enjoy.
The minerals and vitamins, irons in the niacin. Fuck who that I fear. Rappers sit back, I'm about to begin. Bout foul talk, you squall. Never even walked the walk. More or less destined to get tested. Never been arrested. My album will manifest many things that I saw, did or heard about, or told firsthand. Never word of mouth. What's in the future for the fusion and the change? Rappers are in danger. Who will use wits to be a remainder? When the missile is aimed to blow you out of the frame. Some will keep their limbs in, some will be maimed. The same suckers with the gab about killer instincts return bitch. You knowing damn well they lack in this division. The connoisseur, cracking your head with a 4x4. Realize, sucker, I be the comer like Noah. Always simmer you down, perpetrating facade in what you consider an image. To me, this is just a scrimmage. I feel I'm stoned, not cause of papa wear my cap cock. The more emotion I put into it, the harder I rock. Those who pose lyrical but really ain't true, I feel. Times limited, hard rock.